They're all iconic, but why? It's not just because they shocked us, but because of what these moments do to the entire story. Some of the most famous scenes in film history are twists.
I am your father.
Make a mistake.
Those stories didn't become legendary by accident. They built towards something. And when that something is revealed, it becomes a slow realization that it was right in front of you the entire time. You start connecting pieces that you thought were innocent, or maybe things that you thought seemed a little off but disregarded it, but that's what makes it stick. A great plot twist doesn't come out of nowhere. It's a single moment that pulls everything together. The small details you brush past, the lines you didn't think mattered, or the subtle looks between characters, and after the reveal, they feel obvious like you should have seen it. But that's what makes plot twists so special. They come from everything that was already in front of you. There's no extra visual effects or added scenes. It's just a single moment that rewrites everything that came before it. When you start a new movie, you're not sitting there thinking, okay, where's the twist? Most people just watch, and that's exactly why plot twists work. They depend on you lowering your guard. A good plot twist is so intricately crafted, a lie built from the opening scene, carefully maintained until the reveal. The best ones don't utilize brand new information, but instead use information that was there the entire time. A missing piece or a hidden truth in plain sight. Then they reveal it in a way that doesn't break the story's internal logic. That's important because the second a twist feels cheap, it loses ground. Cinema that pull off plot twists successfully share a rare characteristic. These movies can be rewatched under a different light, with a different meaning. But not all twists land. Take Scream 6 compared to Scream. The original Scream is so iconic because the reveal feels earned. You become suspicious of every character, trying to guess and play along with a story you're not even part of. Then when the killers are revealed, everything clicks. Surprised, you think back to moments you just watched and think, I should have seen that. With Scream 6, the reveal leans on characters that barely mattered and information that feels newly inserted. Instead of thinking, wow, that was there the entire time, you think, wow, that's it? That's the difference. A bad twist adds while a good twist reforms. Or look at The Sixth Sense. That film never lies to you, neither the camera or the dialogue. It just lets you assume. You believe what you think you're seeing, and in turn your belief becomes the illusion. Or The Truman Show. Technically, the twist is revealed almost immediately. We know Truman is being watched. But what's unfolded is the scale of the lie. Every street, relationship, quote-unquote coincidence is carefully constructed by a production team, and he doesn't even know it. The twist isn't the reveal, but the realization of how deep the illusion goes. This is what great plot twists understand. They're not about what you didn't know, they're about what was misunderstood. And the best ones don't trick you with cheap gimmicks. They use you, your assumptions, your blind spots. In a way, you become part of the mechanism that allowed the twist to be pulled off. When it lands, it works because you were unknowingly involved in building the lie. Not always are plot twists about the information you may have overlooked. Sometimes it's about perspective, about what the camera chooses to show you and what it doesn't. The camera isn't neutral, but a biased participant. It controls what you see and, more importantly, what you don't. Again, The Sixth Sense. After being shot, we never see Dr. Malcolm from behind or interacting naturally with anyone other than Cole. That's camera work. He also never changes clothes. One is a visual restriction, the other is overlooked detail. Together, they build the illusion the plot twist is built on. The film doesn't lie, it just limits your perspective. You're shown the truth, but only a subjective version of it. That restriction becoming the twist. Look at Fight Club. Technically speaking, the perspective never changes. They're the same person. But the camera frames itself in a way that separates Tyler Durden from the narrator in your mind. It encourages you to see two people and plays on your assumptions about how scenes are usually shot. So when the reveal happens, it feels massive. But structurally, nothing new was added. It was your perception that was guided. Get Out works in a similar way. The camera makes you feel just slightly off and uncomfortable, but still grounded. It lulls you into thinking the awkwardness is nothing more than social. Only when Rod shows up does the perspective shift. For a moment, you're given a breather to question what you've been accepting what the camera leads you to believe is normal. And then again, there's Scream. Characters are being framed in ways that allow doubt to creep in. Camera cuts are misleading and misdirecting, shots linger just a little too long to build suspicion. The camera makes everyone guilty. It weaponizes your trust. If the audience's trust can be controlled, then what they believe can be controlled. Every part of a great plot twist works together, but sometimes it goes even deeper than hidden details or camera perspective. Sometimes a twist isn't added to the story because it is the story. It's the DNA structure of the movie. The entire structure exists so that each moment can land exactly how it's supposed to. Take Reservoir Dogs, for example. The movie doesn't start with the heist, but with the aftermath. Something went wrong. Wrong enough that they suspect there's a mole in their group. So naturally, you as a viewer start to look around the room just as they do. Who's gonna show it first? Who's been leaving signs to this point? The non-linear directing structure pulls you forward while misguiding you, making you question everything you see. You're searching for someone hidden, but the answer has been sitting in front of you the entire time. The movie structure itself becomes a twist. Or look at Seven. The ending of that movie isn't a shocking last-second twist. It's the conclusion of a plan built over the course of the entire movie. A plan that only concludes if Mills reacted exactly the way he did. What makes this film different is it spends its entire runtime building Mills into the kind of man who would respond exactly the way John Doe planned. It feels unavoidable. Interstellar also operates this way. Mysteries in this movie aren't added for tension. The mysteries are the twists. Things like the ghost, the bookshelf, and the gravity anomalies. Everything's a loop. The strange phenomena were never caused by outside forces or the anomaly, but by the characters themselves. It's not something that's revealed all the way at the end. It's something that makes the film what it is, woven inside its blood. Stories like these require rewatches. The second time though, you're not watching for the twist. Instead, you're watching how carefully the twist was constructed. Every subtle hint built into what we've already seen that made it as impactful as it was. These type of twists weren't made to flip a story on its head, but complete the story itself. A twist that locks everything into place. Not every plot twist works on a small scale. It's not always about camera tricks or hidden details between characters. Sometimes a twist can change the entire world the story exists in. One of the most iconic examples is the reveal of who Darth Vader really is in Star Wars Episode 5. On the surface, it's just a really crazy family connection. No one thought that Luke would be the son of the big bad Darth Vader, but that single line changes everything. Luke isn't just fighting a villain anymore, but now he's connected to him through blood. If someone as powerful as Darth Vader has a son, what could that possibly mean for the rest of the galaxy? The conflict becomes bigger than a rebellion, causing the entire universe of the story to shift around it. You see something similar happen in Attack on Titan. What makes Attack on Titan unique is that it never settles for a single big twist. At first, it's the discovery that humans can transform into Titans, then it's the reveal that Titans exist inside the walls themselves, and every time you think you finally understand the world, the story throws a curveball at you. Each curveball usually doesn't answer any questions either, instead multiplying them. What starts as a survival story slowly turns into something much larger, a story about history and the truth behind the world they live in. Both of these examples show how twists can reshape a story on a much larger scale. By introducing new lore, new power dynamics, or new rules, the story you thought you understood completely becomes something else. To truly understand why plot twists work, you must also understand why they fail. We've talked about what makes them effective, but what makes them fall flat? The most obvious reason is a weak or lack of setup. Sometimes a story relies too heavily on shock value without properly building toward the reveal, leaving you surprised in the moment but questioning things once you start to think about it. Think movies like Scream 6 again. The twist here failed because there's no established motive for the killers until they're actually revealed. Instead of doing what Scream does so well and inviting the audience to piece together the information they've been receiving over the duration of the entire movie, they throw us new information far too late. Another reason why twists fail is because they betray the logic the story has already established. A well-known, more modern example of this is Wonder Woman 1984. The movie builds on the idea that wishes are deeply desired, showing how difficult it is for people to give up what they truly want. But by the end, Diana somehow convinces millions of people to abandon those wishes almost immediately. While this isn't out of character for Wonder Woman herself, it goes against what the entire movie had already established about human desire, making the resolution feel cheap. And finally, some twists fail because they invalidate your emotional investment. A major modern example of this, without spoiling anything, comes from the fight between Gojo and Sukuna in Jujutsu Kaisen. For many viewers, the outcome felt abrupt, and without a deeper understanding of the characters and mechanics behind it, the emotional payoff falls short. When twists like this happen, the audience doesn't feel satisfied, they feel disconnected, shocked. That's it. That feeling of disconnect is the difference between a cheap surprise and a meaningful reveal. Even if the ending isn't the one you wanted, a good twist still feels earned. Plot twists can succeed for a lot of different reasons, and filmmakers use a lot of different methods to pull them off. But despite all those differences, the best plot twists all share one thing in common. They make you rethink what you just saw. A great twist makes you stop and ask yourself what signs you missed along the way and encourages you to go back and watch the story again, this time with a more active eye, searching for the details that were there the entire time. The camera work or certain characters' behavior, maybe a single line of dialogue that now has a completely different meaning. After the reveal, you can go back and read between the lines in a way that you weren't able to before. This is the difference in cheap shock value and a twist that rewrites everything you saw. Thank you for watching. I always thought a video on plot twists would be an interesting topic to cover. The most famous pieces of media tend to have crazy plot twists, my personal favorites being Attack on Titan and Fight Club. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. Become part of the 1% and hit the subscribe button. See you in the next video.